Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 21st of November 2023. In today's newspaper analysis, we are going to cover the most important articles from the newspaper. So let us quickly have a look on those articles that we are going to cover today. So these are the list of articles that we are going to discuss in today's newspaper analysis. So we have mentioned the title of the articles along with their relevance from the UPSC syllabus, and also we have noted down the page number from the Hindu. So let us quickly see the first article directly today. So name of this article is Governors Can't Withhold Repassed Bills, says the Supreme Court of India. So when we talk about this particular topic, this topic has been there in news from last couple of days. So what has been happening is that, in the state of Tamil Nadu, whenever the state legislative assembly passes a bill, right, so they send it to the governor for the assent of the governor. So governor constitutionally has, many options to deal with those bills. So the thing is, Article 200 of the Constitution of India gives the governors certain options. One of the option is to assent to the bill. Assent means to give, approval to the bill. So once the governor gives his assent, so the bill becomes an act. So it is deemed that it has been passed as an act. And the thing is, second option that the governor has is to withhold the bill. So whenever the governor withholds the bill, it simply means rejection of the bill. It means that bill has been rejected by the governor. So whenever a bill is rejected by the governor, so governor generally takes the constitutional point of view, in the sense that whenever a bill is moved for assent of the governor, so governor looks into the constitutionality of the bill. If governor finds that the bill is unconstitutional, if he finds that this bill is ultra vires of the constitution, it is not in sync with the principles of the constitution, in that case the governor may withhold his assent also. The third option that the governor has is to send this bill to the house again with some comments that you need to make these changes into the bill, because some of the provisions may be against the principles of the Constitution of India. So this is the third option, means he can send it back to the house. So now the house can make those changes and can pass that bill again, then it will go to the governor. So whenever a bill comes from the house second time, so governor should give his assent to those bills. However, the governor cannot withhold a bill if it is a money bill. So governor cannot send it back to the house if it is a money bill. That's the thing. And the fourth option that the governor has is to reserve that particular bill for the consideration of the President of India. So what has happened in the state of Tamil Nadu is that the state of Tamil Nadu has passed about 10 bills, and in all those bills the governor has neither given assent, nor the governor has withheld, nor the governor has sent it back to the house, nor the governor has reserved them for consideration of the president. Governor simply sits back with those bills. Governor does not pass those bills. So the thing is, the state government of Tamil Nadu has got infuriated with this. So they have approached the Supreme Court of India to challenge the way in which the governor is working in that state. So recently the Chief Justice of India has given his remarks in this bill, means it is not a verdict. During the hearing the judges give their remarks, so verdict comes at the last after hearing both the parties, and the thing is the final verdict may be entirely different from whatever they have discussed during the course of the hearing. Okay, so the thing is, in the final recently the Chief Justice of India has said that governors can't withhold repassed bills, means those bills that were repassed by the house, so those bills cannot be withheld. Withheld means those bills cannot be rejected by the governor. Okay, so this Chief Justice of India said that these bills have been pending since January 2020, means it's been 3 years that these bills are pending. The governor took action only after we issued notice in that matter, means governor took action only after this Supreme Court of India has issued notice to the governor. Why should governors want parties to move the Supreme Court to start taking steps? Means the Chief Justice of India is asking the governors that like why you should wait for the parties to seek redressal from the Supreme Court of India, and only after then you will start taking these steps. So this is not right. So that's why earlier also the Chief Justice of India has said, like Chief Justice of India has said that like the governors and the chief ministers of states should do some soul searching. Soul searching means to introspect, to see like whether their actions are good or not. Okay, so this has been made a remark by the Chief Justice of India. Okay, so in this article they have just mentioned about that. So we need to understand that in this article they have mentioned about Article 200 of the Constitution. So those articles that are mentioned in the newspaper articles, you need to go through those articles as well, so that you can understand about nuances of those articles, what are mentioned in those articles. This will give you an added sense that like not only you have understood the article, but you have also understood about constitutional aspects associated with them, right? So with this, let us quickly move to the next article. It was a short article, so I did not write much over here, but the thing is the article was good. Now we have another article. This article says making sense of the employment challenge, right? Making sense of the employment challenge. So let us now quickly understand about this particular topic. So this is topic number 2. Making sense of the employment challenge. So this article that we are going to discuss, it is there in the editorial section of the newspaper, right? Yes. Making sense of the employment challenge. So what has recently happened? The co-founder of Infosys, right? Co-founder of Infosys. So Infosys, as we all know, it is, let's say, one of the tech giants in India. Means it is one of the big companies, big IT companies in India. So its co-founder is Mr. N.R. Narayan Murthy. So he has recently remarked that Indians, right, Indians or Indian workers, right, Indian workers should work, Indian workers should work for about 70 hours per week. 70 hours per week. So this is one of the remark that was made by the co-founder of Infosys, Mr. N.R. Narayan Murthy. So in this article, the author has, let's say, like, looked into the aspect that why it is necessary, or like, author has talked about the positives and negatives associated with it. So in his comment, Mr. Narayan Murthy has given example of 2 countries. In fact, he has given example of 3 countries. One of the country that he has talked about is Germany. The another country is Japan. And the third country he has discussed about is South Korea. South Korea. So he has said that these countries, right, they like in these countries, their workers have worked for more than let's say, like, 12 hours per day, work for more than 12 hours per day to reconstruct, to rebuild their economies. And like, since the workers participated, so the economies has grown. So the thing is, in this article, the author has discussed about that in these countries, the workers have done so because of 2 factors. One of the factor was that these countries have gone through World War II, means like, World War II situation. 2 of these countries, he has mentioned that these 2 countries have gone through World War II. So during World War, there was widespread devastation of the infrastructure. The infrastructure that they had, it got devastated. And many people got killed also. So the thing is, now they were left with ruined infrastructure and they were left with less number of people to work. And to rebuild the country, to rebuild the economy, those workers need to work more because there were less availability of people, less number of people were there, right? So there were more demand of working because infrastructure was ravished. So that's why people worked, but people did not work willingly, willingly. So they have worked under coercion, means they have worked under coercion. Coercion means the state has pressurized the people to work. Okay, one factor was damage that has happened, damage or infrastructure damage that has happened, and the thing is damage happened, death happened, right? So less number of people were there to work because of infrastructure damage, because of death of people. There were less number of people to work, there were more demand of work because infrastructure got ravished. So that's why the government has pressurized. So it was state coercion for which people have worked, and this has proved to be effective because they were able to rebuild their economies at a faster pace, right? They were able to rebuild the economies at a faster pace. So this was the case in both Germany and Japan. And earlier also there were few articles. In those articles the authors has mentioned that before the World War period, people used to work much around, let's say much less than 70 hours a work week, and presently in Germany people work for 35 hours. In Japan I think 28 hours, 28 or 35 hours per week. So there, as of now, people are working half of the time that what is suggested by Mr. Narayan Murthy. In this article they have talked about that South Korea, although it was not part of the World War II, it did not get damaged by World War II, but it has come out of the Korean War. Korean War means North Korea and South Korea were fighting. So the thing is, this country also came out of a war, and these countries, if we talk about Germany, Germany has rebuilt its infrastructure because of a Marshall Plan. Which plan? Marshall Plan. And under this Marshall Plan, the United States of America, USA, has supported for the rebuilding the economy of Germany. And in case of South Korea also, the United States of America has supported South Korea in its redevelopment, like that. So it was after the World War, right? The first two countries after the World War, and South Korea after the Korean War. That's the thing. So the thing is, they came out of work, and there the demand of work was manual. Means people were working in manual thing to rebuild the infrastructure. So less skilled workers were needed. If we talk about the state of Indian economy is a mixed economy, and it is a mixed economy, it is market driven economy. In this sense, now coercion will not work because government cannot coerce people to work for more hours, right? This is the thing. And if people are working in companies, for example, there are many people who are working in corporates, right? These corporate entities or these corporate companies, here these corporate companies, right, they are employing people. Why they are employing? So that they can get work done by them. If these corporate have limited number of work, if let's say they have work that is equivalent to some 15 people can do, so these corporates try to employ only 10 people. They try to get maximum work done by the 10 people to meet the requirement of 15 people. So they are not willing to employ more number of people, because if they employ more people, they have to pay more wages, more salaries. So these corporates are what? Profit driven organizations. They are profit driven organization, means they are there for only for making profits for them. Whenever they need more workers, they will quickly employ people. Whenever they feel that they the paychecks that they have to sign, it is going beyond the, let's say capacity of the business, they don't take time to fire those workers. We have seen that during COVID-19, so most of the people were stranded in their own home. They were not allowed to come out of the home. So that time, let's say online activities increased. So these tech companies needed more people. They have hired more people during COVID-19. Just after COVID-19, what has happened? the demand of IT work has gone down and they have sacked huge number of people. So we have seen, let's say, people have been like trimmed from the organization. A lot of people were fired, right, by the IT companies. So this has happened. So they are working in a profit driven scenario. So they only, like, if there are more demand of work, they will employ people, they will get the work done. If demand ceases, so they will fire the people also. So this is the case. So these corporates are profit driven entities. So they cannot be said to be, let's say, working for the greater good of the people. It's not the case. And in case of India, already there is huge number of unemployment. What is there? Huge number of unemployment means already existing people are unemployed. Many people are unemployed. When, let's say, there is an economy, there are 100 people to work. If, let's say, 66 people are unemployed, right? I'm just giving you an example, and let's say 34 people are employed. 34 people are employed. If we say that these people should work more, what will happen to those people who are unemployed? First, they should think of giving employment to those people who are unemployed. So it is necessary that we need to create more avenues of employment so that people can be employed in the, let's say, in the formal and informal sector. So in this article, the author has diagnosed about this statement that is made. So author says that, the situation in Germany, the situation in Japan was different. At that point of time, people worked under the coercion of the state and they worked in manual areas, manual work. And the thing is, they worked for rebuilding the infrastructure. They worked because there were less number of people to work and there were more work to be done. At this point of time in India, we have a big economy, but huge number of people are unemployed. So we need to think of employing those people first who are unemployed, right? Those people who are working, they are working according to the corporate standards at this point of time. So the question does not arise that a person should work 70 hours a work week. Okay. So this is what the author has suggested, and author has talked about economic strategies for India. What strategies can India adopt? Vijay Lal, good evening. Thank you so much for joining. So what strategies can government adopt? So the author has talked about two routes. One of the route is to use the global market, means so author discussed about economic strategies for India. What? Economic strategies for India. Economic strategies for India means what economic strategy India can adopt. So number one strategy is that we can compete at global market. We can compete at global market. How we can compete at global market? By going for export, right? By going for export. And if you want to go for export, so the thing is our goods needs to be competitive, right? Our goods need to be globally competitive. And how it can be globally competitive? One thing is the standard, the quality should be high. Quality should be high, and the thing is price should be low. Price should be low. Price should be low. If quality is high, price is low, then it is going to compete. But in India, we do not have efficiency in the workforce. I mean, people who are working, they are not very much efficient, and at the same time, the quality of goods that we are manufacturing, it's not as competitive. I mean, so price wise, we are not able to give good products at lesser price in the market. Okay, so we need to work on this particular parameter, which is competing at the global market. This is one suggestion. Second suggestion that the author gives, that for greater output and employment, means author says we can work in Indian market itself. We can work in Indian market itself, right? Indian market itself. How we can work? Number one, we need to focus on greater output. Greater output means creation of more goods. Second thing is we need to work on greater employment, means we can employ more people. So if we create more goods, we will be employing more people. So it will, let's say, like, supply driven demand can be created. What? Supply driven demand.
So here it is mentioned that demand driven supply.
See, here they are saying, like, in the Indian economy, we have people to work, and we have, like, we can focus on more output. We can create output. If we flood the market with the goods, people will are going to purchase it. Means, like, you are supplying first, then demand will be generated. He might have mentioned about demand driven supply, but the thing is, it says a second route to greater output and employment is to expand the domestic market and huge aggregate demand, right? So to see this, how this can be done, recognize that the economy produces both food and non-agricultural goods services. Means basically he is talking about we need to produce more. If we produce more, so the thing is we are able to generate demands as well. So we can say it that way also, means, like, demand driven supply. So if already huge demand arises, if we are not able to meet the supply side, so, like, we need to, work on the supply area. But other way around can be there, that, like, for example, in your locality, you might be, maybe you might be needing some shirt, t-shirt, anything of good quality. If it is not there, what you do? You go to distant markets to purchase it. But if in your locality they create shops, there are things available, maybe you want one, you go there, maybe you find 2-3 different good quality, you may purchase it from there. So it means making the availability first. Okay, means supply driven demand. It's like that. In economy we say demand driven supply. That's the means, like, this is the thing. But, like, we are creating it first. We can have strategies that way as well, right? So this is the thing. So in this article, finally, author says that understanding the history and experience of Germany, Japan and South Korea will add clarity to the context in which the recent proposal that Indians work for 70 hours a week was framed. Okay, so this thing is, situation in India is not the situation that was prevalent after World War II in Germany and in Japan, and after Korean War in South Korea. That's the thing. So we have another article. This is also a good article. It says a fact check unit that is unconstitutional. So we have already discussed about fact check unit earlier as well, right? But this is little different. Why it is little different? We are going to discuss about it. Okay, so this is going to be topic number 3 for the day. It says a fact check unit that is unconstitutional. We are going to discuss about this fact check unit that is unconstitutional. A fact check unit that is unconstitutional. So to understand this particular thing, we need to understand that recently Tamil Nadu government, right? Tamil Nadu government has also notified, they have notified for the creation of a fact check unit, right? For the creation of a fact check unit. What will be the purpose of this fact check unit? To check the information available in the internet, whether those information are misleading or disinformation related to the state government of Tamil Nadu. So the work of this fact check unit will be to cross check the information that is available in the internet, right? To cross check what? The information that is available in the internet. And after cross checking, right, if it finds that it is disinformation, right, if there are disinformation or if there are misinformation, right, related to the state government of Tamil Nadu, so this fact check unit can ask, right, for the removal of the content, can ask for the removal of the content from the internet, removal of the content from the internet, or it can reach out to that particular social media intermediary, right? So the thing is, here in this article, author says that this is grossly unconstitutional. Why it is grossly unconstitutional? Because the thing is, this removal request may also be there in case of fair criticism for the government. So the thing is, in India we do have Article 19 of the Constitution of India. So Article 19 clause 2, so like they talk about Article 19 of the Constitution of India. Article 19 gives us freedom of speech and expression. What? Freedom of speech and expression. So when we have freedom of speech and expression, what do we mean by this? Freedom of speech and expression gives us the right to freely express our opinion, either verbally or in written format, right? In any means. We can get it published also, we can, let's say like in paper format, in internet, it can be there. But if the government is trying to have an overlook about it, so the government is, let's say, meddling with the freedom of speech and expression. And this freedom of speech and expression is a fundamental right. It is a fundamental right. So the thing is, anything that tries to curtail the fundamental right can be struck down by a court of law. So author says that this particular fact check unit that the Tamil Nadu government has notified, it is grossly unconstitutional because it violates the provisions of the freedom of speech and expression. So we can speak anything over the internet. Means like there are limitations also on freedom of speech and expression. Means like all the fundamental rights are not absolute, they are qualified rights. There are reasonable restrictions that are placed. But the thing is, this fact check unit may, what it can do, it may curtail the freedom of speech and expression. Already the central government of India has notified a similar fact check unit earlier, right? The central government has also notified a fact check unit, right? Central government has notified a fact check unit. So that fact check unit, for establishing that fact check unit, they have amended the like information technology intermediary, there is an act which is known as IT rules. What they have done is they have amended that particular IT rules, the central government. Information technology intermediary guidelines, social media ethics code rules, like that. Okay, 2021 information technology intermediary guidelines. So I'm just writing it for your purpose. Intermediary guidelines and social media ethics code, right? And social media ethics code rules 2021. So under this particular rule, the government of India has notified that they will create a fact check unit, and this fact check unit will check the information that is available in the internet that talks about the central government. Okay, that talks about what? The central government. So if any information is found to be violative or found to be misleading, misinformation, disinformation or fake, so the fact check unit may ask for removal of that content. However, it was challenged in the Bombay High Court. Which court? It was challenged in the Bombay High Court. So the Bombay High Court has reserved its judgment. So Bombay High Court may give its judgment on 1st of December, right? 1st of December 2023. And till then, the Bombay High Court has taken an undertaking, right? It has taken an undertaking from government, right? From the central government, that till the judgment, the central government is not going to notify establishment or creation of the fact check unit. So this fact check unit of the central government is now at a, let's say, pause state, at a halted state. So the thing is, after the 1st of December judgment of the Bombay High Court, there can be a fact check unit, there cannot be a fact check unit. It depends on what the judgment is going to be of the Bombay High Court. So in this article, the author says that this particular move of the Tamil Nadu government is again, let's say, violative of fundamental rights. So author says that the government of Tamil Nadu's order violates several fundamental rights and is riddled with many illegalities, right? So you need to go through this article to understand about it little better. However, let's say I have discussed about the context also.
Sir, one thing. Sir, this faction unit under the central government of India. Sir, like they will take the cases on their suo motu or according to the complaints raised by the citizens or.
No. They are going to be proactive. Proactive in the sense. Proactive in the sense like citizens don't have to complain. Citizens generally don't complain to the fact check unit. They complain to the social media. Means like if some of their misinformation is there, so citizens generally post it to the social media that please take down this information. That is right to be forgotten. That's different. It's about the central government itself creating a unit to check the information in the internet related to the central government. Means if anything wrong is mentioned, fake information, misinformation about the central government is mentioned, in that case this fact check unit will reach out to that particular organization, maybe Facebook, Twitter or any other platform, to take down that information.
So, sir,
It's that way.
There is a journalist who has well researched about some issue or topic, and then he or she has given some opinion on the internet. So, sir,
that's the concern. That's the concern for which the people have approached the court, that the fair criticism of the government can be considered to be fake information by the fact check unit. So means what is fake, what is misleading, what is this thing, they are very subjective matters. So that's why, to protect the freedom of speech and expression, to protect the fundamental rights, people have approached the High Court. They have, let's say, talked about what they want, right? They have talked about that there should be freedom. So that's why Bombay High Court has taken up this case, and it was hearing, it has heard both the parties. It is that way. Okay, means this is the, this is the problem for which people have approached. Then we have another topic. This topic is very short and this is related to technology. This is related to defense. So it says a renewed focus on emerging technologies. So why this topic is important? Because recently what has happened, in case of defense, it has been identified that in defense there can be usage of technologies. There can be usage of what? Emerging technologies. There can be usage of emerging technologies. And in fact, the government of India has identified about 45 niche technologies. Niche means very innovative technologies, core areas, 45 core areas where these technologies can be beneficial in defense sector. It includes usage of artificial intelligence. It includes usage of unmanned system. Unmanned what? Systems. Unmanned systems means robotics, etc. Right? It can be drone as well. Then they have talked about advanced computing, right? Advanced computing means there are many areas that are niche areas of science and technology, and these areas can be used for the purpose of defense. So in this article they have talked about that a renewed focus on emerging technologies, and emerging technologies are being, let's say, looked after to use them for defense purposes. So in this article they have talked about that Chief of Defense Staff has thought about integrating all the three services, try or integrated service command. What are three services? The services that include, let's say, Indian Army, Indian Navy, Indian Air Force. So the tri services will be integrated together and they will seamlessly share information among one another so that they have robustness in the defense sector. And to have robustness in the defense sector, in this article they have talked about that the civil defense institutions and also the military defense institution, they should not hesitate in sharing information with one another. If there is real-time sharing of information, if there is real-time sharing of intelligence, only then they will be able to tackle terrorist activities, they will be able to tackle the threats that arise. And these technologies will require employing those people who are specialists in these domains. But author has talked about some challenges also that are there. The Indian Army focuses on recruitment of people who are generalist, means they try to keep level playing field. So the thing is here, in this article they talked about that has been successful in conventional warfare. But nowadays the theater of warfare has changed. The theater of warfare has achieved, let's say, like, high-end technological advancement, and for which they are using the state-of-art infrastructure. They are using, let's say, artificial intelligence. They are using cyber threats. They are using, let's say, like, many such kind of thing which are unconventional. And for this, the Indian Army has to adopt new technologies. They have to adopt a new way of hiring people. So in this article, they have talked about unconventional hiring, means like unconventional HR. There was a specific term where they have mentioned about disruptive HR. They have discussed about what? Disruptive human resources. Disruptive human resources means we need those human resources that are capable of working in new core domains that have the potential of disrupting the state of warfare, like that. So we need to hire people who are specialists from different areas, from different fields. That what is mentioned in this article. Okay, so this article is good. So author says, fully realizing the potential of emerging technologies in the military requires altering existing organizations and approaches. So we need to alter, we need to modify the existing approaches and existing organizations to be able to tackle with the changing domains, right, of warfare. Right. In this article, they have talked about some of the schemes of the government of India also. Swablamban scheme, the Udan scheme, etc. Then we have another article. It says how free cancer care alone won't help fight against cancer in India. So what we are discussing about is, we are discussing about cancer treatment in India. This article is good, like it has been written nicely by the author. So we are going to discuss about it, right? So this topic is how free cancer care alone won't help fight cancer in India. How free alone won't help the fight against cancer in India. The fight against cancer in India. So let's discuss about this, right? So this is very important. So when we talk about cancer, right, when we talk about cancer, so cancer is a disease, right, which let's say requires a specialist treatment. I mean, like, here cancer can be in any part of the body. If there is, let's say, uncontrolled growth of any kind of cell in the body that leads to cancer. There can be, let's say, like, brain tumor, or it may lead to cancer. There are breast cancer, blood cancer. There can be different type of cancer. So cancer requires a specialist treatment, right? It requires a special treatment. And the thing is, the cancer cure is cost intensive. It is cost intensive, means it requires huge amount of money for a person to get proper treatment related to cancer. And if we talk about how patients get themselves treated, patients can go to government hospital, they can go to private facilities, right? In government, generally, I mean, like, it is cost effective. In government, it is cost effective, but the thing is here, right, it is like, cost effective, one thing, but the thing is there are long waiting period, means like, to get any appointment with the doctor. Generally waiting period can be minimum of 6 months, like that. Like in government hospitals, minimum of 6 months you have to wait to get an appointment, right, with the doctor in case of cancer. So those patients who have the ability, who have the capacity, like, to wait for such a long, so they may wait and they can get treated also. The hospitals are overburdened in India, means like we have less number of hospitals and we have more number of patients. we have less number of doctors, we have more number of patients. So the thing is, infrastructure, hospital infrastructure in India is highly overburdened. So the thing is, the government facilities, although they provide free, like free means like they charge very minimally, but the thing is, like, the government hospitals can also prescribe medicines. They can prescribe medicines for the patients, and these medicines generally have to be purchased from outside, right? They have to be sourced from outside. So these medicines can be costly. One part. Second part, the cancer related hospitals are very less in India. Means like there are very less number of hospitals in India where cancer treatment happens. Generally AIMS, Delhi, AIMS, other places it happens. Big hospitals it happens. Normal hospitals, district level hospitals, generally there is no proper treatment related to cancer. So that's the problem in government sector. If a patient goes to a private clinic, private, let's say, hospital, so the thing is, its cost ranges in lakhs of rupees, and this cannot be afforded. This may not be afforded by most of the people in India. So the thing is, in private hospitals, those people can go who can afford, and even if they can afford, after the treatment, right, they are ruined. Means like they have few things. I mean, like most of the people sell the assets that they own. They sell their houses, they sell the belongings, like they sell the assets, and during the process of treatment also, the people lose job. For example, if a person was earlier working in, if he has some mouth cancer and all, he goes to the doctors, and during this process, it is more likely that within 5 years of the diagnosis, that person will lose job. So this also has problems in India. So author says how free cancer care won't help the fight against cancer in India. Means like we have the free cancer care, but it is not helping to fight the cancer in India. And in this article, the author has talked about a report, and this report has said that by the year of 2040, India will have about, right, India will have about 20 lakh people, right, 20 lakh people per year, right, 20 lakh people per year who will be diagnosed with cancer, right, who will be diagnosed with cancer. Means the cancer burden is going to go up. Presently, cancer is the third most deadly disease in India. Contagious, right, most contagious disease in India, right? Cancer is the third most contagious disease in India, and because of this, what happens? I mean, like, burden of cancer is increasing in India. So in this article, the author suggests that in India, what the government should strive in creating hospitals, or if we have existing hospitals in remote areas of the country, in those hospitals also there should be cancer treatment. Means like cancer treatment should be focused the way that, like treatment related to fever and other things are available. Means like in tertiary care systems in India, generally, like if you have fever, you can go, doctor will prescribe something, but they don't have any cancer related facilities. They don't have the doctors, they don't have the equipments, facilities to conduct operations. So here author says we need to increase the chain of hospital infrastructures in India, so that we can reach to the remote part of the country, and there we should have a cancer treatment facility. So this is what the author is suggesting. And apart from this, author is also suggesting to augment many other, let's say, like funding mechanism related to treatment of cancer. Presently, government of India does have some of the programs that are working for this in cancer related thing. Pradhan Mantri.
So state government have
State government has, and central government also has. Central government has a kind of insurance scheme. So this is Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. So under this, 5 lakh rupees insurance is there per family per year to the eligible families only. But there are criticism also. Means like if a family has a bike, so they will be out of this particular thing. I mean, like means exclusions are very more. So number of people who can avail the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana is very limited. It's very, very limited. So this is what is said in this article. This is there. Okay, so in this article they say that we need to create more infrastructure for creation of hospitals, so that these hospitals have cancer treatment facilities. Apart from this, we need to augment the funding. We need to have greater funding for let's say cancer related thing. Only then we will be able to tackle the issues related to cancer in India. This article is good. It is from the medical field. Then we have another topic. It says center selective transfers appointments may trigger embarrassing outcomes. Supreme Court. So this is the picture of Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul. He is a judge of the Supreme Court of India. So the thing is, if we talk about the Supreme Court, in Supreme Court we have a collegium system. What? We have a collegium system. So this collegium system, what it does, this does many work. So they recommend for the appointment of judges, right, in various high courts, right, appointment of judges in high courts and Supreme Court. And they look into the transfer of judges also, transfer of judges from one high court to another high court, like that. So collegium system generally what it does, it recommends the government, for transfer and promotion, right? Means it also recommends for the promotion. Promotion means a judge may be promoted from the High Court to the Supreme Court of India also, or he can be promoted as a judge of from a judge of High Court to a judge of the to the Chief Justice of the High Court also. So promotion, transfer, appointment, all these things are recommended by the collegium. So this collegium generally has 5 judges. Collegium generally comprises of what? 5 senior most judges of the Supreme Court of India. 5 senior most judges of the Supreme Court of India are part of the collegium. So why collegium is necessary? Because judiciary wants to maintain its independence. They don't want to come under the grip of the influence or grip of the central government. Central government is the largest, central government is the largest litigant in the courts. So most of the cases that are filed against the state, against various states, against the central government also. So they are the largest litigant. So the thing is, here the judge is saying that the appointment, transfer, promotion thing that is suggested by that are recommended by the collegium of the Supreme Court of India, the central government takes time in enacting them, in effecting them. And what they are doing, they are selectively doing it one after another. They are not doing all of them in a prompt basis. So here the justice says that center selective transfers appointments may trigger embarrassing outcomes, right? It may trigger embarrassing outcomes for the government also and for the judges as well. So he has talked about related to Guwahati High Court, they have thought of, let's say appointing some people in Guwahati High Court, but since there was a date also prescribed that this judge will be appointed on that date, and government has it has delayed this particular thing. So this has embarrassed the judges also. So that's why they have said this particular thing in this article. So this article is good. Means we get to know more about how the judiciary is working, how the government is working, right? So this is a process of learning more. So we have another article. It says more finance needed to wean India's electricity grid of coal. So when we talk about electricity production, right? When we talk about electricity production in India, so the electricity production happens through multiple channels. One is we have coal-based power plants, right? Coal-based power plants. So these coal-based power plants are known as thermal power plants. Then we also have nuclear power plants. Okay, we have nuclear power plants. We may be having hydroelectricity as well. So we have many of these sources. But coal-based power plants are largest in quantity. They are largest in quantity. But the thing is, there are some problems associated with coal-based power plants. What problem? They emit greenhouse gases. They emit carbon dioxide. And it, generally what it does, it increases the global warming. And since it increases the global warming, what happens? Means like, there is a tendency in different countries, what they want is we need to phase out the coal-based power plant. But if we want to phase out the coal-based power plant, what we need to do? There is a demand of energy. We need to create alternative infrastructure. We need to create, let's say, nuclear power plants. But nuclear power plants will need huge amount of funding, right? So the thing is here, this person, like he is like, the power secretary of India, Alok Kumar. So he said, we need more money to phase out this particular thing. We need more money here. So basically, very soon there will be 28th edition of the United Nations Conference of Parties, COP. Means like United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC. UNFCCC conducts a COP every year. So next time it is going to be Conference of Parties 28. So this Conference of Parties, they talk about multiple ways of reducing the greenhouse gas emission. They talk about reducing the global warming pace, right? So they say like if we want to phase out the coal-based power plants, we need more funding. He has talked about that we need more funding in India. This is the thing. So with this, we will quickly move to another article. I think like I have completed all articles by now. So thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you. So let me turn off